Hello, welcome to Art Club. I'm very excited that you're joining me for 6 weeks of exciting exploration, fun, and fiddling about with art stuff. So, you're going to get 6 boxes, 6 different weeks worth of things to play with, and 6 different videos from me. So, let's use these videos. Underneath, you can subscribe and you can talk. You can put some questions in the comments. If you've got something you don't understand, just ask. I'm really happy to answer questions. If you make something exciting and you want to share, please do. Let's use it. It'll probably just be us who are getting these boxes, who have a look at these videos. So let's use them for ourselves. Okay, there's one thing I'm going to say, and I will probably say it every week. Whatever you get in these boxes, it's for you. It's for you to enjoy and to use in any way you want. Now I'm going to give you some ideas and I'm going to show you some of the ways to use these things safely. But apart from that, do what you like. And in fact, do what you like more than once. Almost everything will be able to be used and reused. So once you have an idea and you try something, if it works, brilliant, take a picture, tell someone, and then take it apart and perhaps go again. If it doesn't work, or perhaps it doesn't quite go to plan, it doesn't matter. You can change your plan, you can make something completely different, or you can take it apart and change things slightly, try again, try a different way. Really what we're doing is just practicing. We're practicing how to use our hands, how to have ideas and try to make them work. And if something doesn't go to plan the very first time, even the 10th time, that often happens for me, it doesn't matter because we're just experimenting and exploring, okay? I can't wait to see what you make. So, what we've got in this box this week, week 1, we're going to think about sculpture. Now, what is sculpture? What does that word sculpture make you think of? To me, sculpture is something that is 3D. It's 3-dimensional. It takes up space. It's not flat. It's not a drawing or a picture. It's something that exists within space. It's bigger than that. And that's it. It can look like something, it can represent something, or it can look like nothing at all, be completely abstract. Either of these things are what you can do with all the stuff that's in this pack today. So we're going to build, we're going to make, we're going to be joining things together to create something that takes up space. How broad is that? You could make a person, you could make a face, you could make a building, you could make flowers, or you could make something with the colours that you really like, something that stands up, something you can make solid, or something that moves as you move some of the pieces. It's completely up to you. There's some safety stuff though, and this is really important. So inside, you've got some wire. Now, there are some different bits of wire. Some have got plastic coating around them. Some are coloured. And some are very, very fine and much easier to handle. They're all easily bendable. And in fact, I want you to take a piece and practice. See what you can do. See how you can move it into different shapes. And it holds it. You've already started sculpting. And of course you can bring it out and change its shape again. Keep going. This is what's so exciting about this material, wire, is that it holds on to its shape. It remembers what your hands have done with it. So, safety, the ends can be very sharp. Don't point them at yourself. Keep them away from your face or anybody else's face. I've made them into pieces for you, so you probably shouldn't need to cut them. But if you do, you can use your scissors. Have I got any scissors? Yeah. I want to show you how to do it safely. If you want to cut a piece, bend it to where you want it to be cut. Take your scissors, holding both ends so nothing can fly off, and you point it away from yourself, away from your body and away from your face, away from anybody else, and cut. Okay, it's important that you hold both bits so that one doesn't ping somewhere over there. Now, I'll show you what you can practice. You can take these will come joined together. You might have seen them before. You can pull them to make them come apart. You might use them for something else. I want you to practice making a coil or a spring. If you hold the wire in between, hold the wood, and you use your thumb as your tool to hold it tight. This might be easy, it might be difficult, you might have to go a few times. This hand is staying still, and this hand is wrapping around. And now I'm pulling with this hand a bit, but I'm also pulling with this hand. And I'm holding it quite tight. Can you see what's happening? It's coiling around. Because of the shape of this piece of wood, I can easily, she says, pop that off. Look. I really enjoyed that spring. You can make it smaller by pushing it, or you can make it bigger. And of course, you can undo it by holding one hand tight and moving the other hand. Have a practice, have a play. There's something else I want to ask you to experiment with, and it's the same principle of holding one hand still and moving the other. So if you want to join two pieces of wire, you need to make a cross. So you cross the ends over, and then you hold the cross with one hand. You keep this hand still. Now this hand, you want to take both those ends. You might have to move them together if your hands are smaller, and you want to twist them. Twizzle, spin, twist, keep going. Now the thicker the wire, the slightly harder you have to hold this one still, and the slightly harder it is to twist them. The thinner the wire, it's very, very easy. See what works for you. So of course what's happened is I've joined the ends together. Now in the same way, I can undo this by holding one hand still and going the opposite direction. Can you see this hand is still and this hand is moving? And there we go. It's undone. Have a practice. It's important to be safe. So give these things a go, just so your hands and your eyes know what's happening. And something else. You've got this, it's called foam board. Just a piece of foam inside with bits of board. And there's also other foamy things. Now these don't have any holes in. So how will you join them? Well, you might want to make a hole, and I want to show you how to do it safely. I've given you one of these with a point on the end. You could also use a pencil. If you've got any, you can put a lump of plasticine on the table. Let's pretend this is my table, so stop. So if you wanted to, you could put a lump of plasticine on the table, put your board or your foam, and then push this into the plasticine. If you don't have any plasticine, you can still do this, push. You probably won't go all the way through because it will stop. So what happens is, stop, put that down. What happens is you can push it and it's stuck in there, she says, throwing it off. So you can see how far you want to go, but then if you lift it up, if you push, you can start to see where it's going to come out. Now, this is gentle and slow. You can put your hand away from where it's going to come and push through. And what's important is that I don't want you to start off doing this into your hand, pushing, because a spike of this or a pencil, you could hurt yourself. It's important not to. But if you start going down onto a table, then you know where it's going to go. And of course you can push through, make your hole bigger. I mean, you could use something bigger. Go in and keep pushing. How big do you want your hole to be? How many holes do you want? Are you going to go in and out just once? Are you going to use your wire to wrap? How will you join things together? perhaps you want to add some colour to some of these things that aren't very colourful yet. Have you got marker pens? Have you got coloured tape? What might you use? If you don't, perhaps something black. Lines, stripes, spots. You could create patterns on these before you join them. How about that? Maybe you've got other materials at home. Maybe there are things that you find that have got holes in that could be joined together, because there's lots of different stuff that you can use to join things. This thread is made of plastic and it's got quite a big circumference, so you might not be able to get it through everything, but some things it might go through very easily. Got lots of bits of beautiful leather. I don't know what colours you'll get, but you'll definitely get a few. You can use these. Perhaps you can wrap your wire and join things to them. Can you go in and out? Do you want to use your wire as decoration? There are some interesting colours and some very shiny bits of wire which contrast very nicely against the leather. So I've done a fiddle, a play, and I've joined together these very strange selection of materials. But what have I made? A little sculpture. Now, it doesn't mean anything, or it isn't supposed to be anything, but I've put paint and colour and pattern on some of those blocks, and I've added and added and added. I've wrapped around. Now, the best thing about this is that once I've taken my photo or gone on a little Zoom call to show my grandparents, I can undo it. Take it apart. Use that for something else. Add extra colour. Make it into something completely different. And that's what I want you to do. So, show someone. Have a little exhibition of the work that you've done. I know we're not really able to see each other so much at the moment. So maybe there's a video call to someone. Explain what you've done. Tell them what was hard, what you found difficult, and what you're practicing, and what you might be better at next time. Show them what you were thinking about when you made your sculpture. Do you want it to be someone, to represent something? Or do you want it just to be showing all the colours that you like, or the shapes that you found interesting? There's no right or wrong. It's totally up to you. Any questions? Put them in the comments and I will ask them. Any photos or anything that you want to say or show us, please do in the comments. I'd be really happy to hear from you. If you wanted to ask someone to email me or call me, I'd be so happy. Anyway, the rules are important. Stay safe with these materials, but also use these materials in whatever way you want. And then go again and again. Enjoy yourself. I look forward to seeing you next week.